Welcome everyone. We're going to start here in just a few minutes. So glad to see so many of you logging on. We have almost 200 people signed up for tonight's webinar, so it's going to take a few minutes to get everyone into the platform. If you would like to click on chat, and then at the bottom click on all panelists and attendees, you can chat with the group. Feel free to try it out right now and tell us your name and where you're logging in from. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Molly, and I'm from Minneapolis. It's a beautiful day here, and I hope that you're enjoying your day as well. It looks like we have Richard here from Tucson, Heather from Chicago, welcome, so good to see you. Jennifer from New Hampshire, hi Jennifer, good to see you, hope you're having a great birthday. Let's see, so we'd love to also hear which homes you've all been to. I've been to Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Honduras. So as you're logging in and chatting, tell us which homes you've been to or which homes you hope to go to. We'd love to hear about that. We're hoping to get to homes here definitely in 2021. Just a couple quick little facts. Tonight we're going to hear from Rafa, who's the National Director of Mexico. We have a couple homes in Mexico. The younger children are in a town called Miacatlán, and the older high school kids are in a town called Cuernavaca. In case you're not sure, Cuernavaca is about 60 miles south of Mexico City, and Miacatlán is about another 30 miles south from Cuernavaca. Did you know that Cuernavaca is known as the City of Eternal Spring because of its temperate climate and the profusion of flowering plants in its gardens and parks? Also, fun fact about Cuernavaca, the temperature is always in the 70s, so it's great weather in Cuernavaca. It's just a beautiful town. Let's see, we have Lisa here. She has joined. Sarah is joining us. Ooh, it's coming in quickly here. We have Kathy. Hi, Jordans. I'm assuming the whole Jordan clan is on from Minnesota. Good to see you. We have Sarah. Sarah, good to see you. Tara from Boston. You haven't been to any of the homes, but a lot of your members of your church have been to Guatemala. Well, I hope you can make it to Guatemala as well, but after tonight, you may want to switch your plans to Mexico. Hi, Father Mike, so good to see you. Oh, hi, Daniel. I see that you have just joined. Again, I think most of you are clicking on the chat and saying hi to everybody and telling us where you're from. Just keep it up. It's really fun to see everyone. Hi, Shelly. We have Shelly here from Minnesota. It's great to see you. Lecha, always good to see you. And we have Erica, Cheryl Cook from Scottsdale. Welcome. Karen from Bellevue. And let's see. Oh, we have a lot. Oh, Sarah sponsors a child in Mexico but haven't been there. Well, thank you, Sarah, for sponsoring. We really appreciate that. We hope you can make it to Mexico to meet your godchild. So again, just a couple of things that we're going, as you know, we're going to Mexico and we're going to chat with Rafa. He's our national director. Let's see, I'm just trying to catch in on everyone. We have Laurel. Hi, Laurel, and Norm from Minnesota. So good to have you both join us. Welcome. Like I said, we have about 200 people registered, so we're going to give it a few more minutes for everybody to join before we start. Probably start here in a few seconds because I think we are getting there. Yeah, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get started if everybody is ready. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Molly Boyum, and I'm the Chief Development Officer for NPH USA. And on behalf of all the staff here, we hope you and your families are safe and healthy. Welcome to the 4th episode of the NPH Open Home Series. If you were with us on episode 1, we visited Honduras, and then episode number 2 brought us to Bolivia, and episode 3, we met Sammy Correas, who grew up in our home in El Salvador. Today, we are visiting NPH Mexico and chatting with their National Director, Rafael Bermudez. Rafa is not only the National Director, but he's also an Hermano Mayor. And backed by popular demand is our moderator this evening, Casey Guevara-Laker, who is the Director of International Engagement for NPH USA. He has visited NPH Mexico 3 times in the past 3 years. Before we get started, I have a couple housekeeping items to share with you all. I'm sure by now this is not your first Zoom call, but just a couple of reminders for you. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see some icons. When you hover your mouse over them, you'll see icons such as chat, Q&A, and raise hand. If at any time you would like to ask a question, please choose the Q&A button, and a new window will appear where you can type your question. We will be answering several of them at the end of our program. If you have a comment, please click on the chat. So in just a minute, you will meet Rafa and Casey, but before then, we have a short introduction video to share with you. So without further ado, welcome to episode number 4 of our NPH Open Home Series.
Bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 4th episode of the NPH Open Home Series. I'm your host, Casey Guevara-Laker, Director of International Engagement at NPH USA. Today, we visit Mexico, the country where our founder, Father William Wasson, opened the very first NPH home. Joining me today is Hermano Mayor and current Director of NPH Mexico, Rafael Bermudez, known to many of us simply as Rafa. As a former pequeño himself, Rafa grew up with and now embodies the 5 core pillars of NPH: education, responsibility, work, sharing with others, and unconditional love. Rafa, bienvenido. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rafa, I'm excited to have you on the program today. I know that many of the listeners, watchers, those tuning in are also excited. So let's dive in. I understand that you came to NPH at a very young age. Can you describe the circumstances which brought you to NPH?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I came to NPH Mexico when I was 5 years old with 5 of my brothers and sisters, and I come from a very poor town. My father was a farmer, and I'm a family of 12, but only 6 of us came to NPH because the rest of my brothers and sisters, they were older and they were married already.
Mm-hmm. So how did you know about NPH? Was it somebody that told you about it, or did you kind of have to find out on your own?
What I know from my sister Alicia, that she always was taking care of my mom when she was dealing with cancer issues, and she told me that when my mother passed away from cancer, a nun knew about this big family of 12 and very poor conditions and everything. And so they gave him, or they gave him the phone number of Father Wasson orphanage here in Cuernavaca. And then my sister got in contact with NPH and all the papers and everything, and that's how it started. And then the six of us joined this beautiful big family of NPH here in Mexico.
Yeah, that's great. What massive responsibility your sister had on her shoulders to learn that information and then bring the family to NPH. Can't imagine what that was like for her. So one thing that I want to mention to everybody who's tuning in, as we've prepared for this episode, it's been a lot of fun because Rafa has a small treasure trove of photos and that he's been able to share with us. So we've kind of gone through those photos over the last couple of days. And we have one photo that's actually quite great. You saw it in the intro video. It's a photo of Rafa soon after he came to NPH. You can't be more than 7 or 8 years old here, Rafa, is that right?
Yeah, probably so. It's black and white.
Yeah.
And yeah, that picture. That's probably when my very first years when I was here at the family, and when I felt a beautiful sense of security, knowing that I was at least with 6 of my brothers and sisters, the youngest of the family out of 12. And yeah, definitely, you can see the smile and very hard times, but I love that picture.
Yeah, it's a great one. I'm glad that you still have it and have hung on to it after all these years. So describe to us just kind of your initial reactions as being a child coming into the NPH family. Was it easy? Was it difficult to assimilate into the culture? How did that go for you?
Yeah, I do remember it was really hard times. When I came to here in Miacatlán, I do remember we were so many of us, pequeños here, probably 1,000 more. And I know food was kind of hard. And Father Watson was able to manage our founder, our beloved founder, Father Watson, to feed so many of us. But then again, that sense of security of having my brothers and sisters together, that was the best thing that ever happened in my life.
Yeah. Now, when you initially came to NPH, and I know, I've heard your story in the past, and I know that education played a large part in your story to bring you to where you are today. Was education something that you received immediately when you came to NPH? And I guess to further expand on that, how was education a part of your life and a part of your life at NPH as you went through life?
Definitely. So I did my studies here, primary, secondary school here in Miacatlán with all my best friends and everything here, with the rest of the pequeños and pequeñas. And then I have the opportunity to study in Arizona, at Yarnell, English. And then they asked a very beautiful host family in Chicago. I finished my high school there, and then it was 4 of us in a small college in Georgia, a soccer scholarship. That was hard because studies and soccer, that was a lot. And then Father Watson and Father Phil Clary told us that we should move to Miami to continue on our university there. So education is the best thing that ever happened to me and to all the pequeños, and hopefully we will continue to offer that.
Yeah, absolutely. What grand opportunity from Arizona, Chicago, Georgia to Miami. I mean, how old were you when you finally landed in Miami?
I think it was in my 20s, 1920s or 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, those pictures can tell a lot now with the gray hair.
It's interesting, the one on the left with the machetes. Now that was part of the Pequeño tour, correct? Where you had the Pequeño tour and the machete dance.
Definitely, it's one of the many options and talents and that NPH offers you. And if you take it, if you get it and do a lot of efforts on it, you get those opportunities. I got the opportunity to go on every Pequeño tour, mostly since the first one, it was Germany. I think I was only 13 years old, but definitely that dance with the machetes, that was one of the great trips that as an ambassador, I always liked that.
Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit to your time in Miami. So as I understand, studying in Miami, and then there was a life-changing kind of call, if you will, right? Who did the call come from, and what was the call for?
Yeah, Father Wasson, our beloved founder, and Father Phil, they just a year or two opened the home in NPH Honduras, and right after NPH Haiti, and so he asked us, I need help on to continue on with the opening, and a lot of work that he actually told us, I need a lot of hands. So I was sent to Honduras in a different positions and departments, and I stayed there for 10 years. It was hard, beautiful. And there I met my wife, Claudia, also a former pequeña.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed with 3 beautiful children, Jordan, Catherine, and Stephanie. And yeah, definitely those 10 years, I learned about humanity, about giving, love, security, responsibility, faith, sharing, and work. That's our principles, our values that we always try to teach and live ourselves also to the rest of the pequeños.
Mm-hmm. So as you're, Rafa, as you're opening the home or helping open the home at NPH Honduras, I can imagine that maybe you had a special connection with the children that were coming to the home, being that you had once been in their shoes. You had once known the hardships perhaps that they had known. Were you able to connect with them in a special way? Did they maybe see something in you that they were specifically drawn to communicate with you, or feel maybe you were a safe zone for them? How did that work for you?
It came to me very natural. It is the same language, that was something good. But they saw me as an older brother, and I understood what they were going through, emotionally and in everything, because even education problems if they have, because I always told them, I live there and I know what's going into your mind. So trust me, let me help you. And that's probably one of the reasons that I love it so much, that I stayed 10 years. If not, probably God has given me another way, another route to go through. But yeah, it was an easy connection. A pequeño helping another pequeño to go through this and giving a sense of security inside. That's the most beautiful thing.
Yeah, truly. So 10 years at NPH Honduras. Connect the dots for me on then how you came to be at NPH Mexico.
Yes, so in 2000, when the world was saying that it was about to end.
Y2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But and Father Phil Clary, who's from Chicago, from the Diocese of Chicago, he and Father Watson, they wanted to move on into found NPH International, which we know now. So he was going to be promoted to start NPH International, and without even knowing, he invited me to work for NPH Mexico as the administrator. And in 2004, Father Watson and the executive committee, they decided that, and they promoted me as national director. The only simple thing, because I was pequeño, and I listen and I understand the children and their problems, and I'm always saying yes, and I'm always trying to solve others' problems, whatever it is, and trying to give a solution to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And I mean, what a nice picture of you with Father Watson that we have here. Also, on the left, we have the picture, I would call them the famous red steps. Many photos have been taken there. If you've ever been to NPH Mexico, Miacatlán, I think you would know these steps. Rafa, you then transitioned to being national director of Mexico and have been. How has that been for you in terms of continuing the core values that NPH holds, to this day?
To be honest, 2004, it was really tough.
Sure.
I don't want to use the word fail, but I got a lot of notices that, hey, finances in this and this and that. But later, as a mentor, Father Phil and Father Watson, they told me, Rafa, just be you, your life, practice every day our values, and just hire the right people for the right positions, trustable to you, to NPH, and you will see that everything will work. And yeah, eventually I did it. And I decided also to live inside of the homes and everything with my family, and just be responsible also, and making sure that every peso or every dollar should go directly for the children, for the development of the children.
Yeah, that's great. And so you have your own family that is now part of the larger NPH family. Do your kids kind of identify as pequeños? Do they have friends at NPH? How has that been for you, I guess, as a father?
Definitely. I lived here in Miacatlán when they were doing their studies inside the NPH schools, and also in our technical high school. And definitely, and I can tell you that one of the pictures on the bottom, that's my daughter, Stephanie. There's a group of eating apples, and she's there. And so she's in technical high school, and yes, definitely. So in order to live your life with the pequeños and everything, you have to live with them and be inside with them. And the best thing is with your children, which is the most beautiful opportunity in my life that I ever had.
Yeah, beautiful. Como un gran familia, like a one big family, right? Yeah. Rafa, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. It's truly inspirational. I hope that everybody found it inspirational as well, to kind of give everyone who's tuning in a little bit more of a perspective of what NPH Mexico is, and specifically Miacatlán. We have a small home tour that Rafa has put together for us. So buckle your seatbelts. Let's all take a trip to NPH Mexico.
This is Casa San Salvador, which is located an hour going south of Cuernavaca, Morelos. This house we have from kinder all the way to secondary school. And this house we have about 500 children. It is a pleasure for me to give you this tour. Bienvenidos. Welcome to our dining room. We have 4 cooks and we serve 3 times our meals: breakfast at 9, lunch at 1, and dinner at 6 p.m. At this moment, because of the pandemic, the COVID-19, we only have 2 cooks and a year of service who's helping us to serve the food. Our favorite plate is rice, boiled egg, salsa, a very spicy salsa, and tortillas. We also have our famous pan de bola. That bread was made by Leonardo Osorio, who rest in peace, and he was the first cook of Father Watson, and that's a very simple recipe. He invented that, and we're still cooking and serving pan de bola to all the pequeños here. This is our chapel here in Casa San Salvador. This chapel was finished in 1990, and it was finished and done by our former pequeño, Constantino Azuara. On Mondays at 1:30, we have optional mass for whoever wants to attend. And on Fridays also at 1:30. And on Saturdays, we have Mass at 5 p.m. Thanks to Father Phil Clary that we also have very special events like quinceañeras, graduaciones, and all kinds of different events here in Miacatlán. Here we are in one of our 3 greenhouses that we have here in Casa San Salvador, and here we produce tomato and cucumber. those products that we produce here, with the help of many of the Pequeños here in Miacatlán, is from our own consume and production for the 3 houses that we have here in Morelos. Pequeña.
I have 21 years old. I am in second service. I wish study architect. Thank you for visiting our home.
Beautiful tour. Thanks, Rafa, for putting that together. It's, again, if anybody's ever been to NPH Mexico and Miacatlán, it's a very beautiful property, incredibly well maintained, and a really large operation on so many levels. As Rafa mentioned, everything from various schools to farming. There's a lot of different components, and I think that maybe is a good transition in some ways, Rafa, to some of these other topics that we might want to talk about a little bit in terms of your responsibilities now as a national director. So I'm imagining that Miacatlán and NPH Mexico in general has changed a lot since when you first arrived. What in your mind have been some of the biggest changes?
Yes, well, the first will be the education first. We have so many more opportunities and buildings in our school, and also the production, like in the video was mentioned. We are trying very hard to produce as much as we can our vegetables and our corn for our daily tortillas. And so that was probably, food back then when we were growing. It was hard. It was really hard. Now, what we're trying to do is make it more healthy, and learning also how to produce it from the beginning to the end. And that will expose many pequeños, perhaps later on, if they're interested in studying and being curious in university or getting professional from that. So that's one of the many changes that I have seen from when I was growing up, now as a national director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fantastic. And what a large sustainability effort and program that you've really undertaken to make the home what it is today. Along the way, there's must have been numerous challenges. And one I know specifically from 2017. And that was when Mexico experienced a large earthquake, and that had a significant impact at the home in Miacatlán and in Cuernavaca. I know, thank God, nobody was injured at NPH, but it was a large event, and I'm sure a massive challenge to undertake as a national director. How are you today, and what were kind of some of the challenges back then?
That year, 2017, I remember September 19, 2017. It was really hard. And in fact, when I did the second The second year, the second day when the earthquake happened, first it was making sure that if we were to go back that night, the buildings had to be secure. Otherwise, we'll have to sleep outside, basically. So with my staff, which I really respect a lot, we got together and organized. Okay, our dining and our kitchen is insecure. Our school is completely. We cannot return. We cannot give classes there. And added to that, the old ex Hacienda San Salvador is historic, and it has so many buildings that you cannot restore it because it's Mexican historic site, and there are a lot of politics on that. So it was a very tough year, having a school in the patio. We improvised our kitchen outside, and our dining, eating outside in tents. So that was really, really hard, but we were blessed. We stayed together, and somehow we got through this. But now we're in this war pandemic.
Yeah.
It's another challenge now.
Yeah. Yes. So how has that been with the pandemic? I mean, that's, I think, probably top of most people that are tuning in today. That's probably top of mind. How have you and the staff been, dealing with that challenge and protecting the children, first and foremost?
Definitely. First was also, my staff got together and we actually told them, voluntarily asked them, who voluntarily would like to stay with us. And first we were thinking maybe a month, maybe 2.
Yeah.
We're now more than that. So now we got this idea of changing groups of caregivers, tios and tias. So we put it in quarantine for 2 weeks, and then the next group will come. So in the cooks, and now the farm, the fields and everything, little by little will start come back. At school, thank God that school is virtually, and we hope that we'll finish the school year, and hopefully in September we'll begin with a new structure. But it has been very difficult times. The children have so much energy that sometimes it's 11:30, and we just got to tell them go to sleep so that the tios and the caregivers can rest a little bit for the next day. So there's always that. Invent new activities. Be creative. What should we do now? What should we do now?
Yeah, yeah. That's the
other fun side.
Yeah, I can imagine that creating new activities would be fun, but in a very new environment in a lot of ways. And it's interesting how akin your environment in Mexico is to ours here in the United States, where we have similar questions around education and kids going to school and learning virtually, in addition to families running out of activities for their kids and kind of having way too much energy. So I'm glad to hear that we're being creative, that you're solving the problems, and that at the end of the day that the kids are also still continuing to receive a great education, and the love that they so need and that you can provide. I want to, Rafa, if you don't mind, just kind of switch topics a little bit here. Well, we'll see about the topical switch, but we have quite a few people that have tuned in today, and many of them have questions, and we have taken a couple of questions from the audience. And the first one comes from NPH All-Star John Iberly. His question is, did you first come to Acolman, I think I'm saying that right, or to Miacatlán?
Acolman.
Acolman.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was the first house. The father wasn't, I guess somebody lent it to him. It's an old ex hacienda also. And yeah, I was there 2 years, and I remember nuns were taking care of us, the little ones.
In Acolman.
In Acolman, Estado de Mexico.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Another question from the audience, if you don't mind.
Definitely, no.
Yeah. What else do you eat that is produced at the home?
We have our pig production, fish, tilapia, some goats, and a green, and we have all kinds of how do you call those, citrus, like orange, mandarin, lemons, and all that. So that's basically what we have.
Right. Sounds delicious. Sounds delicious to me. What a great diet in a lot of ways, right? Very mixed diet for the kids. Do the kids enjoy that type of food?
Oh, definitely. We have probably twice a week meat, like pig, or sometimes the other week will be fish, tilapia, which is very healthy, and goat, not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much. We usually give it to the kids in Buen Señor in Technical High School, but here in Miacatlán, they don't like that much.
Not a big fan of the goat.
No.
I can understand that. So one last question from the audience, Rafa. What do you and your family members do at NPH? We know what you do. What do your family members do at NPH?
Definitely.
And does Jordan still work there?
Definitely, yeah. In fact, my wife Claudia, she coordinates the correspondence department, and she is with the team with Alicia Caro, for our local fundraising group that we have. Very successful here in Mexico. And Jordan still he coordinates the projects here in NPH Mexico. Yeah.
And I know that NPH Mexico has seen some real successful fundraising in the last couple of years. So congratulations on that, and to Licha as well, who's, I think, listening in today.
Yeah.
So here, for the audience who's listening in, we've prepared a quick poll for you to take to kind of, I guess, give you a little test. To test if you've been listening in, to test if you've been paying attention. And we're going to bring that poll up. And that poll, the question being, when did Rafa become National Director of NPH Mexico? I think we've said it a couple of times, but we're going to put it to the test. I'm going to submit my own vote. Rafa, are you submitting a vote too?
No, I'm not. I'm just...
So we're just waiting for the results to come in. It's a tough one. Said a couple times, think back. From NPH Honduras to NPH Mexico to then National Director. Here are the results. And we have quite a few that were paying attention. Quite a few. So at the end of the day, we had 68% that guessed correctly.
Definitely.
We have a very attentive audience, Rafa, I think. Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody for their time today, tuning in with us, and especially to Rafa. Thank you so much, Rafa. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being so open. And please let us know how we can help, in the future and going forward.
I also want to jump in here and say, Rafa, thank you so much. Casey, thank you. I had the good fortune to visit Mexico this past February, and the rebuilding that you've done from the earthquake is just fantastic. It's just beautiful. So thank you so much. I'm hoping that on a future episode, we might have time for Rafa to do that machete dance, because I think I would like to see it. So we'll see. I just want to also say thank you to a couple of our behind the scene folks who have produced this episode, Meg Brockman and Kim Dumpke. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And if you would like to support NPH Mexico, please consider a Mi Casa sponsorship. This is such an easy way to support all the kids, the staff, the programs in our homes of Mexico, or really any of the homes if you prefer. Additionally, your support will help the surrounding community with services such as medical, education, and social needs. You just need to visit our website at nphusa.org, and click on Mi Casa in the upper right-hand corner, and that will bring you to the field that you need to be at to support Mexico. Additionally, if you'd like to sign up for episode number 5, you will get a registration link tomorrow, or you can head over to our website as the link is available. Episode number 5 is an open home visit to the Dominican Republic, and will take place on Tuesday, August 18th at 5 p.m. Central. Take care and hope to see you then. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
I want to thank you for joining us on this tour of our house, Casa San Salvador. Since March 17, we have been here inside. Only the encargados, the take care of the children, and very essential people who have stayed with us. I know it's difficult times in the world because of COVID-19, and it will be for the next years for the economy. So I ask you, and so that you can still supporting us, sponsoring in any kind, locally and international, because the children, the pequeños, have dreams, and we would like to fulfill those dreams, but only with the help of you. So thank you.